So a few months ago, we gave the team an air quality backpack, and what we've been doing is tracking and understanding their exposure to air quality and air pollution. Inside the backpack, we've integrated sensors that are similar to the sensors within our purifiers. This is the particulate sensor, but we've also got a gas sensor that measures VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, but also NO2, the gas that's very commonly found as a result of vehicle emissions and combustion. We've also got a GPS tracker, and this allows us to overlay the pollution events with the location in which the user is exposed to them. What we were trying to understand is what PJ, the coach, and the players are exposed to during some of their typical routines for a match day, but also during a training day as well.
I don't think air quality has ever crossed my mind. I'd like to know how much of an impact it actually makes on us.
I probably don't know the effects it actually has on me as like I know the food I put into my body and things like that. Obviously, I guess pollution has a similar effect, but I know very little about it.
There's always something new that people are kind of developing and learning about. So for me, it's more about growing with the game and seeing what I can do to improve my performance.
Every time you come into the training program, what you need to put forward your best self. Potentially, when you look at the quality of air, it may have something to do with that. It's the 1%ers. If you can tick them off, probably worth ticking off.
So I've got some of the data from your pre-game training day, and another was from a match where you travelled to Twickenham. You've got a few different spikes that happen at different periods of time during your day. Your major event of the day was your gym session, and there was quite a significant spike in VOC. But I imagine in a scenario like this in your gym, it's like a turbocharged house almost. You've got a significantly large number of people in a condensed space in that area.
And I'd imagine through the shaking, rustling, lifting, dropping weights, everything were upsetting something on floors, walls, ceilings, what's coming off that.
At around 1 o'clock, you had lunch. So what we actually saw in here was a spike in VOCs. If you're cooking on things like gas hobs, that's combustion. That in itself releases particles and gases into the air, but also the food itself. If you're cooking things that you can smell, that is some sort of gas or VOC odour. We've got a kind of period of time in which people were within the changing room. What we're detecting here is low levels of VOC gas pollution. They're all using deodorants, but there's a few members of your team within there at one time.
Most of these boys will be using sprays. Everyone's sweaty, so there's a lot of odours around.
The spray to keep your tape on, removal spray to keep tape off, little things like that, they all add up.
The pyrotechnic display that went off obviously just before the match was your biggest pollution event that the bag detected. It maxed out the capability of the sensors. We see similar things with our products during things like firework night as well. We see these like major pollution events making their way into people's homes. When we come back to talking about your air quality exposure, it's not necessarily about removing tape sprays or anything like that. Depending on where your pollution source is, you need a different solution. So if your pollution source is inside, you want to open all your doors and windows and vent it all out. But if it's actually outside, you want to kind of keep them closed.
I guess the main thing around pollution is the exposure time that you have in that given area. If it's particularly bad, one thing that you can make sure you do is constantly be on the move as much as possible, especially if you find there's one area that's particularly bad.
Maybe, if we looked into our air pollution a little bit more, we could potentially have cleaner air to breathe in when we're training or playing.